Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick directions video. There was a lot of confusion with how to do some of the worksheets last week, so this one I'm just going to do the directions so that we are all on the same page. So on today's assignment for week 4, lesson 2, you're kind of going to be doing three things. So first thing I want y'all to pay attention to is at the very top of the page. It has like the different exponent rules. So it has the product rule, the powers rule, the quotient rule, and the negative rule. And next to each rule, there is a letter for the coding part. So P, PW, Q, and N. You're going to need those letters to help code your questions in a little bit. The next thing I want you to pay attention to is the answer bank. So for your answer bank, every answer is going to be only used once. So if you've already used it, that means that you can cross it off or highlight it as you're working so that you know that you cannot use that answer again. That also helps to double check that if you got the same answer twice, then you know that maybe one of those is wrong and you need to go back and double check. So here is question 1 that I'm going to be going over in this directions. The first part is you finding the answer in the answer bank. That's what this part right here is saying. And then whenever you find your answer, you can put it into that box. The next thing I want you to pay attention to is the other box that you'll also be typing into. It says what rule or rules were used. So that would be you going back up here and saying, oh, okay, I know the product rule was used, so I'm going to put a P for product rule, N for negative rule, and so on. Okay, so let's look at problem number 1. So on the top of the fraction, I know that I have N and it's being multiplied 5 times. On the top, it's being divided by 2 n's on the bottom that are also being multiplied. Well, I know, first of all, this fraction is kind of set up. I know that I'm probably going to be using the quotient rule in this case. So I'm going to put a Q in this box so that you just type in, and then I'm going to actually solve it so I can find my answer in the answer bank. Well, I know from last week's Law of Exponents that if I have the same base on top and bottom of the fraction, I can cancel out my common factor. So there's 2 common factors I just canceled, and what's left over are those 3 n's that are being multiplied. So really, this is equal to n times n times n over 1, which is just n to the 3rd power, which if I look in the answer bank, that would be E. So I can cross off E. And then again, I would type that into that box right there. Okay, so that's what you're going to be doing for each problem. There's a total of 16 here. Now, if you also look, some of those problems you're not actually solving. They're just asking for definitions of the rules. So if you look at 5, 7, 12, and 16, those problems right there are, like I said, you're not solving those problems. Those are just definitions of the rules. So again, in the rule box, you would just put the letter of the rule that you are going to use there. So I hope that this clarifies the directions for this assignment. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Leave a comment in the private section comment of your Google Classroom. And of course, if you're still struggling with Law of Exponents, first make sure that you did the EdPuzzle from last week. And also, I did post last week 2 videos of Law of Exponents that you can go back and double check on my YouTube channel. Okay, bye guys.